boobs, and fart jokes. AD on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah.
So yeah, women, if you're invited to a Let's Chill party, it's not what you think. It's this company, this fertility company called Egg Banks. They're doing this at hotels in New York City, and they're hosting parties to educate women who might not be ready to have kids now about freezing their eggs for the future. The idea, in case you're not familiar with it, the idea is that if you're worried about running out of fertile years, but you still want to have a kid, your eggs can be frozen at an age when the woman is considered to be more baby-making. So, with companies like Apple and Facebook, they've announced that they're going to cover some of the cost for egg freezing procedures as an employee benefit. The spotlight has been turned toward companies that offer these services like Egg Banks. And it's an interesting one. Look, the wage gap, Obama came out and said it. The wage gap between women and men in the workplace is many times due to the fact that, well, women will bail on their careers for 5 years to look after the kid until it makes it into school. And Obama's answer to that is like, let's get the kids out of the home and into schooling earlier. Let's set up pre-kindergarten so we can jettison the little rat bastards and get back to making sweet do-re-mi. Yep, he said this. These are words that came out of his mouth. I'm paraphrasing, but not much. But anyway, the perceived wage gap has everything to do with, and I'm not saying there's not inequality. I'm not saying there's not sexism in the workplace. Hear me on this one. But the perceived wage gap is due, according to Obama himself, with the fact that women, a lot of the time, bail on their career for 5 years. And you come back after 5 years, well, things have changed. You're not necessarily as up in the game in the workplace as someone who stayed there for the 5 years that you were out, male or female. And therefore, you know, you get into these situations where women are paid less. And in a meritocracy where it's based on achievement and merit and what you just did, when your pay spikes are, look, I have a job, I do it awesome, freaking great at it. There's probably no one better than me. I have some ratings to prove that. When it comes to programming a radio station, I'm really, really freaking good at it. But I don't have anywhere near the experience someone, like when I was up for the job, a lot of other candidates probably way more experienced. I had the knowledge and I had the set of skills necessary to get this job done. But I'm paid way less than a lot of people that do the same thing because I haven't been doing it for nearly as long. Now they're getting the same results they would out of someone who'd been doing it for the past 5 to 10 years, even though I've only been doing it for, 9 months or what have you, since I clawed my way to middle management of a large faceless company. It's been great, and I know I do it better than or as well as anybody else that's been doing it for the last 10 years because, well, there's no place to go upwards from number one, which is where my station is currently sitting. Yet I'm paid significantly less than my contemporaries would be for doing the exact same job. Why? Because I don't have the experience. I don't have the value. I don't have the perceived value in the marketplace because I don't come with 10 years of experience doing this sort of thing. That was something I was willing to eat to do something new. And that's how it works. I'm paid less. There is a wage gap between me and someone who is achieving the same results at a different company across the street or sometimes in this building. That's why, a lot of the time, that's why the wage gap exists. You lose 5 years of experience to parenthood. And so you get companies like Apple and Facebook saying, hey, we don't want you to lose that 5 years of experience to parenthood. You're producing for us now. We want you here now. You have 5 years of experience. If we lose you, we have to hire someone else, and it'll be this whole big thing. And so Apple and Facebook their solution to the problem is do not jettison the kids early. Do not put them in pre-kindergarten or whatever the hell it is Obama has proposed. Theirs is hold off on that whole motherhood thing. We will eat part of the cost of freezing your eggs. It'll be an employee benefit. And so now the spotlight has been turned toward companies that offer services like egg banks because Apple and Facebook don't want to lose some of their best employees to the experience of motherhood. They know once that oxytocin kicks in that causes the mother's love the moment the child is born, the idea of coming back to work is going to seem less and less feasible as the mother bonds with the child more and more. One of my friends, one of the top producing salespeople at the company, took her maternity leave, had her kid, was planning on coming right back. I was like, I can't do it. Cried over the decision because she was brilliant at what she did. One of the top producing salespeople in the company. And just decided I cannot leave my child alone. I want to be a mother. It's the most important job I've ever done or ever will do. So maybe in a few years, she's going to get back to it. But for now, she's being a mom. And I had this conversation with her. I was like, that's awesome. And she's like, yeah, it's going to put me at a disadvantage if and when I do go back to the workplace. But you know what? Somehow, none of that matters. And I'm fortunate that my husband makes enough money to support us, and I saved a lot of my money when I knew I was going to have a kid. You start building that nest. So things are going to be fine. But she's aware that her career is going to take a hit. Apple and Facebook are saying, no, we need you. Like, the people at the company were not amused when she didn't come back. And so large companies are looking to freeze eggs so they don't lose some of the most valuable employees and you can delay parenthood, which means now you might get invited, especially if you're a career woman, to a Let's Chill party put on by a company like Egg Banks. So the new thing now is to wait until you're too old to have a kid, and then you use science and you use technology to play God. And, you know, when you're 81, you can drive your kid to prom. Funkhauser, do we have that audio of Obamacare architect Jonathan Gruber calling American voters stupid? Not so much? Okay. Well, I'll just give you the cliff notes to the situation. The Affordable Care architect, center of the controversy over remarks he made last year about how the health law was passed, how he'd called the American voter stupid on at least one occasion. Jonathan Gruber, he helped craft the Obamacare law. Yeah, he's been taking it on the chin all week long after a video of him surfaced saying that lack of transparency and the stupidity of the American voter were really critical in moving Obamacare legislation through Congress. He said the American voters are too stupid to understand the difference. This is what American politics is boiled down to. We want the stupid vote. If you want to contact Jonathan Gruber, get ready to take this number down. I'll post it on my Facebook page as well. If you'd like to contact John Gruber, say hi and let him know how stupid you actually are. The phone number is 617-253-8892. 617-253-8892. Or gruberj@mit.edu. Yep. Give him a jangle and let him know how stupid the American voter is. Kindly don't prove him right. But this is the thing. Do you know that you want to know where the vast majority of the media buying money went in the last election? Funkhauser, where do you think they spent all the money buying all the advertising for political campaigning in this recent election? Which television station do you suppose had the highest ad revenue from political ads?
Fox?
Not Fox. No.
NBC?
No.
CNN?
No.
MTV?
No. Think stupider.
E?
Yep. Mm-hmm. The channel that is responsible for keeping up with the Kardashians. That was where politicians who were on the campaign trail spent the bulk of their money when it came to television advertising. Why? Because as you can imagine, now I'm not saying if you watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, if you need a little mental chewing gum every now and then, I'm not saying you're an idiot, but let's be real here. The folks that watch the E! Channel, if you tell them that as an opening statement, I watch the E! Channel, then you're no shoo-in for the Algonquin Round Table, are you? No, you're really not. What does this say? It says that politicians are actively reaching out to idiots They want stupid people that aren't going to question what the hell they do. They want people that won't get into what they're doing. They want people that will find the laws that they're trying to pass too difficult and cumbersome to understand. Go, screw it. Let's watch another episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians and just cast our ballot the way this commercial just told me to during the break while I was trying to figure out what Kim Kardashian is going to do to make her ass look bigger now she's losing weight after the baby. Yep. These are the people that our politicians want to appeal to. People that watch E. People that are, in fact, keeping up with said Kardashians. And I've trotted out this metaphor before, but stupid people are way easier to deal with. And I don't really deal with stupid people, but I deal with drunk people all the time. People always say to me, like, aren't you, like, you don't drink, but you go out to all these radio station events. Don't drunk people annoy you? I'm like, no, it's the sober ones that annoy me. The drunk people can walk up to me and go, hey, man, why don't you play this particular Metallica song more than you play it, man? And I go, oh, look, is that James Hetfield from Metallica over there? Where, man? Yeah, just go over there. Bye. Easy to deal with. But I make sure I leave the conversation with a, right on, thank you for listening. You're the man, bro. Yeah, when I meet James Hetfield, I'm going to tell him. Yeah, well, please do. He's right over there. Oh, you missed him. Shame. Got to go. Bye. That's how my conversations go with drunk people. Easy to deal with. Not a problem. And look, I'm sure I would be having a whole different conversation with them. It's not like I'm belittling my listeners. I'm belittling drunk people. And it's their right to go out and get tanked at radio station events because that's sort of what you do. So it's par for the course. But in terms of dealing with those people, it's easy. Easy. It's the sober people that want to come up and say, hey, I noticed that you're not playing the Metallica songs I like. What is the reason for that? And then because they're gracious enough to listen to my punk ass on the air, I have to have this conversation where I say, hey, look, basically, we're trying to make as many people possible at one time as we can. And if you're not hearing the songs that you like, well, sadly, I'm just trying to super serve the folks that listen, and you should blame it on your neighbor's musical taste because there's enough of them going around that don't like that particular Metallica song to where our research says we shouldn't be playing it because it serves, well, not the common good when it comes to our listeners. And as much as I would love to play a song just to make you happy, you know, I'm still in the business of creating ratings and generating revenue. And without that, I can't eat and I don't have a job. And we have, you know, a specific sampling of people in the city that we're in that would indicate that, man, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to play that particular Metallica song all that often. That's a long, protracted, annoying conversation to have, but one that you have to be gracious enough to have. Politicians don't want to have that conversation. They don't want to have that level of accountability. They don't want to have people that are going to be sober, focused in their business, asking them for good, cogent points and reasons as to why they do what they do. They want that drunk guy. They want that guy that's either drunk on a lack of IQ points or drunk on the Kardashians or drunk on Schlitz or malt liquor or weed or whatever the hell it is. Those are the people they're reaching out to. Those are the people that are easy to deal with. A fool and his money are soon parted, and those fools are going to be parted from their money left, right, and center. So when he says that the American voter is stupid, well, that's just wishful thinking on his part. Have a good one.